Happy New Year. I know it's 28th of December 2018, but this video is going to be put up on 1st January 2019. Got it? 2018 has been a very interesting year for me, and I've I don't know how to put it. I started a lot of things in 2018 and I've seen a lot of things grow in 2018, and yet I've accomplished a lot of things, and yet at the same time I've made a lot of mistakes. I've made the wrong decision, and I've learned from them and I've moved forward from them. I'm not the type of a person who like all the time think about my mistakes. So long as nimeshaanguka, I get up, I move forward. That's me. First lesson that I've learned is to just start. If you have a vision to start something, if you have you want to start a business, if you want to start anything in your life, do it right now. I remember I started my business in 2017, so I started right away. I didn't even think twice. I didn't think about how I'm going to run that business. It was my first time to start. It was sort of my biggest achievement in business wise. So I didn't know how to start. I didn't know how to run it. I just started. I had the means. I started. I didn't care. So other things just came up as I started, after I started. So I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to do digital content creation. So I started. I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I started. I wanted to start a business. I started. I wanted to do this and this. I started. So that's what I did. So first lesson is do not wait. Start. You have a vision, start. You have a business to start it right now. So that's one lesson, is to just start. Another lesson, the reason why I'm going down is because I have notes. Another thing is writing down your goals. Writing down your goals. That's another second lesson, is start writing down your goals. And I've seen this work. Let me give you a story. My sister, normally every year, this, it's the end of the year, what is your resolutions and whatnot. My dear, I used to have a lot of resolution, and I never used, and a year can end, I've not even done anything in that resolution. I'll just be like, another year, let's start another resolution. And sometimes I would put the same resolution because I didn't even fulfill them. And I discovered the reason why. One of the reasons was because I did not write them down. I didn't make them serious. So one of the lessons I've learned this year is to write down your visions and your goals for another year, or for a certain period of time. So I learned that, and I thank God for that. 2017, 2018, I wrote all those things that I'm telling you. I wrote them and I started them, and I thank God, and I've managed, and look at me, nimefika, to me this is far. So I thank God, because I wrote them. And the reason why you should write them is you're committing yourself to those goals, you're committing yourself to that vision, and you're making it more serious. And once you write it down, it becomes serious, and that is all that you're going to think about. Every time when you go to sleep, every time when you eat, your spare time, that is what you're going to be thinking about, even though when you do not go back to reread them, but that is what. And another thing is, once one of the things ticks, when you go back during the year that you had planned for those things to come true, once you go back, you see 2 or 3 things or one thing has ticked, you'll get more motivated to do other stuff in that list. So writing down your goals and your visions. And most of you are so digital, would write them on their phone. I find that if I write them on a phone, it's not serious. I think because I'm old school, so I write them down. And this is my 2018 book, which I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to put it, this is me 5 years to come, showing God, like showing people what God has done for me in my life. Like I would tell people, like, you see, this is what I did, and I accomplished this and this. And that's the thing, you'll have a testimony to show in future when you have written down your things. Otherwise, people will be, you just be saying that, I wrote about this and then I achieved it. People will be like, that's what you're always saying. But once you write it down, it becomes like a testimony to God and of how God has done to your life. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's what I've learned. Another thing is, money, start small. Always start small. Let me tell you one thing. I remember, because I stayed a long time without having a phone. I remember it's before I started even this digital. It was 2017 at the end there. So what I did is like, okay, let me just go buy a phone, a simple phone that is going to be temporarily, and then I'll go buy a better phone for myself. So once I went to buy a phone, I bought a Canon CX, yeah. And I discovered it had a great camera. I discovered that it had like the best, like to me, that was like very quality camera, both on the front, on the back. And I only use the front camera, so you can imagine. Yeah. And I make my first YouTube video, I did it using my phone. So start small. I started small. Yes, I know I want to improve my quality, but I'll have to start from somewhere. And the reason why you have to start from somewhere is because at the end of the day, you'd want to show people where you started. And even when you're talking to other people, because at the end of the day, once you become successful, you'll be invited in talks, or you'll be giving advices to other people, and you'll be like, where did you start? So if you show someone like, I started from here and this is me now, people will be like, wow, this is like progress. So starting small does not demean your business. Starting small does not demean your progress. It actually shows how much you've grown, and I thank God for that I started. I edit my content using my phone. So I started small using my phone to take videos. I started using my phone to edit my videos. So if you have a business, like for example, another example is my business. If I told you the amount of money that I started with my business, trust me, starting small is the way to go. Because after all, I didn't do business administration. I do not know how to do accountancy for anything. And furthermore, I'm not even good at saving. I'm not good at record keeping. So starting small is going to humble you in a way that you're going to learn to do all those things as time goes by. And then eventually when your business is blooming, then you will know how to do it in a better way. I believe in starting small for a bigger vision. That's what I believe. And hata ukiangalia these big people like Apple stores, Microsoft, they all started in their garages. So even them, they started, it's so easy for people to like, because I've seen these people doing this, I want to be like this person who is already great. But the bad thing is, most people see only the great part. They don't see how that person started. I thank God for this. I'm very good at like the story behind the success. That's what matters to me. So that has helped me in a way to start small. So yeah, start small. And so another thing that I've learned 2018 is prioritizing. My God, prioritizing, it's still a lesson that I'm still learning. Prioritizing, yeah. So prioritizing helps you, like, I remember, okay, I would say a lot of I remember things, because after all, I'm trying to give you something that is like I've experienced. So I'll give you like personal experiences. Yeah. So I never used to prioritize a lot of things. So once I started like creating content, so I was like, in order for me to create content, and you realize that what is it called? You realize that most of the things that I'll have to buy, and So in order for me to buy, I had to like prioritize what is more important to me. And because I had given it, like, there are things that I started, like, my eyes opened. Like, I was like, okay, so content creation, I would need like to do hair. So in order for me to do that, I will have to buy hair. So I'll have to cut down on other things that are not like that important, so that I can get what I want. So by default, I can say I started like prioritizing, and I stopped some very bad habits. Like, I used to have this habit of like, nikipita around the street and then I see a nice thing, I would definitely buy. Like, why would I leave it? So, but recently I've managed to like prioritize. Sometimes I would just pass some things and then I'll be like, wow, I've grown. Like, this is not me. I would be like the worst impulse buyer. I still am, but I'm working on that. Anyways, prioritizing came as a default to me. So yeah, so prioritizing will help you even save money, and that's when I'm going to another lesson, saving. And in saving, oh my god, saving is something that I'm still learning. Like, I would save, like, saving is not something that I've learned today, but I would save and I would still use the money like all of it without even thinking, and on a stupid thing. But I think I've learned in 2018 another way of saving is like, if you're saving, make sure that you have something to do with the money that you're saving, like, and that's something that you are planning to do should bring you even more money or more value to your life than what you've originally started with. I don't know if you understand. And I saved up, and then I started a business which is helping me even gain more. So when you save, it's not just about saving, it's about what are you going to do with that saving. You get what I mean? Yeah. Another lesson that I've learned this year is by other people's opinion. If you are my friend, you know me by now. If you tell me, I'm never bothered with other people's opinion. Never. Like, why? Kwani wewe ndio uliniumba? No, I'm never bothered. And so, and I found that thing really works well for me, and I tend to think it would work well with you. Most of the times people fail to start something. Most of the times people fail to show their potential because they are afraid of what people are going to think. Like, for example, I'm a content creator. That's what I want. I'm not where I would want to be, but people started calling me, hey, blogger, like in a like sarcastic way, like making fun of me. But at the end of the day, my point is clear. That is what I want to do. And if you are seeing that and you're calling me, even though it's like in a jokish way, then it means that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing then. And it makes sense that you'd call me that, because in actual sense, that's what I aspire to be. If you see me that, it means that it's clicking in your head. Do what I want, no matter how many times you make a joke. And I have this saying, if you're my friend, if you know me, you know I always say, every time when I think, especially when it's about other people's opinion, is if Yesu, who was the Son of God, came to earth, alitemewa mate, alisulubiwa like in public naked. If Yesu aliweza kufanyiwa hivyo vitu vyote and alikuwa hana sins, who am I not to be done even worse than that? So hata kukejeliwa, it's not something to be people making sarcasm out of what I'm doing. It's even kidogo sana, and I should expect even worse than that. It means that I need to get worse than that so that I know, Mercy, you're doing something. And one other thing, you will only know you're doing something great if people start making a big deal out of it. So don't care about other people's opinion, but be sure to realize when you are being given a constructive criticism. Another lesson I've learned this year is, my God, if you do not understand this lesson, I do not know how. That is investing in yourself. But before I go into investing in yourself, let me go to another lesson, that is loving yourself. These two work hand in hand. There's no way you're going to invest in yourself without loving yourself. Most people think that they are waiting on someone to love them. My dear, if you do not know how to love yourself, how are you going to explain to that person that this is the way I would want to be treated, this is the way I would want to get loved? You understand, eh? So love yourself first. And hata kwenye Biblia inasema kwamba love your neighbor as you love yourself. So that is the definition of love. If you do not love yourself, there's no way you're going to love another person. You understand? So yeah, and once you get to know you, you'll come to realize, oh my God, Mercy loves this, so I need to treat Mercy in a certain way, and Mercy is delicate in this, I need to treat Mercy in a certain way. And that's when we come to another lesson. That lesson, the one I was talking about, is about loving yourself, self-awareness and whatnot. Another thing is investing in yourself. I do not know how you invest. For me personally, investing in myself is like to my level. I invested a certain amount of money so that I can do research on a certain thing so that it can help me in my business, and it's blooming because of that investment that I did, that small investment. Investing in yourself, you can invest in an education in order for you to achieve something that is going to help you in achieving your goal. And investing in yourself is like going for seminars, like you see, like I think even hearing other people talk about their success, that is investing in yourself. Hata kama it costs you an entrance fee, that is your investment. Do invest in yourself, because once you reach there, trust me, you're going to come out in a different way. Yeah, so that is investing in yourself. I think the last thing is the most important things. All those things that I've talked about will not happen if I didn't put God first. A lot of people think that it's so overrated when you talk about God. For me, it's very underrated. And I remember there's a certain video I was like, before the end of this year, I'll have to just give a testimony of what God has done for me, and I'm going to give you that today. And before that, growing spiritually can be aligned to you growing both personally, in your business, in your content creation, in anything that you're going to do. One thing I know is that if you put what you means something to you in your heart, and then you put the foundation, and your foundation is God, then you can reach anywhere you want to be. God, I remember I didn't know where I was going to get my next rent money, and one thing I prayed to God, and so I would pray to God for a job in order to gain that money, and I can get that money, but I will use it in a bad way. So what I will do is, Lord, help me to get a job that is going to help me achieve this. Be specific with God. If you are general with God, God is going to give you a general blessing. So I remember I fasted and prayed, and I told God, I do not want money. I want a job to gain that money, to get that money. I want to earn, work hard. That is one thing God asks you. Asiyefanya kazi na asile. That thing is there in the Bible. So if you eat and you've not worked, it means that you've sinned. So what I asked God is for a job to help me get the money for my rent. Trust me, I was called. I was called for one job that lasted a week, and then after that I got at least half of the rent money, and then I was called to another job. By the time the rent time came, I had the rent money, I had excess money. So yeah, be specific with God, and God, but make sure that you know the principles of God. I remember by the beginning of the year, I was like, you know what, I want to like really know you, God. I want to really like get to know you so that I can fall in love with you and be happy with myself being alone with you. Like, I got that, and I thank God for that. I started reading my Bible like every day. I never used to read the Bible every day. I started reading the Bible every day, and if I miss a day, it means that the next day I will compensate for that chapter. I used to read one chapter, and as we speak right now, 28th of December, I finished today reading Isaiah. Last year, 2017, I couldn't even go past Deuteronomy. When you realize what God is to you in your life, you will understand where to put him. Like, he's supposed to be the topmost thing, like, in your life. Yeah. So, not even the topmost thing, that he's supposed to be a part of your life. That is what I'm saying. When I started my content creation, I was like, God, I really need... That's when I'm telling you, you need to be specific with God. I just told him, like, please, I want brands to want to work with me and whatnot. Before you know, by June, trust me, by June, brands were like emailing me. I'm not trying to brag. Brands walikuwa wanani email. But the bad thing is, I wasn't specific with God. I was like, I want brands to want to work with me. But that's why it ended. Wanting to work with you doesn't mean, or doesn't necessarily mean that they would work with you. So, and yeah, so you should be specific. That should have been my prayer then, because right now brands were calling me. Some were calling me like, we really love your content. And I'm not trying to say this, I want to say this because I want to show how God works. So I wasn't specific, and I got brands to want to work with me, but they did work with me because I didn't ask specifically to work with them. I just said I would want them to work with me. Yeah, so you get the point. So that's my testimony. Brands wanted to work with me. I will take that as a testimony. I will take that as a lesson. Another testimony and my biggest achievement this year is me graduating. My God. I'm going to say this for a person who is out there. This is for you. Failing does not necessarily mean that it's the end of the career. Failing to do something does not mean that yani do a failure. No, it means that ulikosea kitu fulani, but you have the chance to correct it. When I started university, I was okay about it, but still my head wasn't really, I didn't see the importance of it then. So because my heart was not there, because I knew I was going to like be done in Form 4. Most of the times my heart was not there when it came to learning, and it reached a point I started failing, I started not doing well, and then coming in, we started going financially bad in our family, and so school fees was an issue, allowances was an issue. Sometimes I would go like hungry the whole day, and if it were not for some friends, and I would sometimes go hungry like 2 days, 1 day, but I would always smile. That's me. I'm always positive. That's one thing I thank God for. So yeah, and financially, if you're financially bad and then you're not performing well because your heart is not there, those are two not great combinations. So you can imagine my life, and then I had another personal life which I had to keep up, and it was so hard. I failed. Like, I remember I failed so much, but I remember I failed so many times. I've repeated so many subjects. It's not the end of the world. Failing is not the end of the world. Failing is just life telling you that you did a mistake, but you can correct it. That's what I choose to see. And when I started changing, like putting my heart into education, that's when my financial problems became even worse. I remember my last exams, nilitolewa kwenye mtihani. Like, nilikuwa nimeshaanza, nikatolewa, and I was like, you know what, I quit. Last exam, I'm like, for this, most people do not know this. I think even my closest friends do not know this. But I remember I went home that day after I was taken out of the exam, and I went to tell my sister, you know what, I think me and school were not meant to be friends, like from the get-go. And then do you know what my sister told me? Is like, why? I'm like I'm tired. It's becoming even a chore right now. I think I'm done. She's like, no, you're not leaving, you're not quitting. At the last moment, at the finishing line, you're not quitting. So I owe it out to God and my sister believes in God. Yeah, so there's one time I quit school and then the next week I went to finish my exam. Yani, this is how God works. Imagine tulikatazwa kufanya mtihani and then wakatusamee. Tukaenda kufanya mtihani, I finished my exams, I passed, and I graduated. And yeah, so for those people who are about to give up on anything, yani mimi naamini kitu kimoja. I came to realize that there's nothing good that comes easy. Yeah, so in that juncture, what I'm trying to say is, for all those lessons that I've learned, if you don't put God into it, God gives you the permission to achieve what you need to achieve or not. Yeah, so at the end of the day, hata kama ni kitu Mungu, anything that you are meant to achieve and God amekuwekea that this is something that you are supposed to achieve and this is a promise I'm giving you, then trust me, itakuchukua miaka 100, but you will achieve it, so long as you don't give up. So this video I dedicated to him, and every lesson I've learned, I wouldn't have seen it as a lesson if I didn't have God in me. And what I want you to do is try to your best to read the word of God, and that is your Bible. Your Bible is your reference. Hata shetani anajua the Bible, so soma your Bible, muombe Mungu uweze kuielewa na kuishi neno lake, and also like try to fast and pray. I do not know, I'm still learning, and I know I will reach there. And yeah, I think that's it for now. I think so. Let's start this new year brand new, never giving up, learning our lessons, and that's my testimony. So until let's start this new year in a nice way, and let's put God first in our hearts and anywhere else. Let God be a part of us. That's what I'm saying. And yeah, until next video, ciao.